Welcome to the Batmandrew Podcast, the podcast that celebrates your love of video game fandom, movies, superheroes, really anything that just sparks your interest in the world of fandom, brought to you from the perspective of just an everyday dude like me. Today's episode is special though, however, because today we pass one of our broken controllers off to one of our friends to be able to play with us in the world of podcasting, if you will. That analogy really didn't work the best way I had hoped it would. Fuck it. All right, guys. Welcome again to the Batmandrew Podcast. And like always, we are incredibly grateful to have a guest on today's episode. My man, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
So my name is Adrian. Some of you might know me as Dadman on YouTube. I also changed my TikTok handle to the Dadman as well. So I'm trying to unify everything. I still haven't put any content on TikTok yet, but it's coming soon, hopefully down the pipeline. But mainly you can just find me on YouTube at the Dadman.
TikTok's a beast, man. It's a whole different world. It's My wife is extremely good at TikTok. I think she's got 6,000 followers or something on TikTok.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I every once in a while she'll share something of mine, and I'll see a little bit of a boost on my my engagement because of her. So, shout out to Scarlett. Does a lot of makeup, looks, cosplays, stuff like that. So, she's a good follow as well. But yeah, listen, we're going to jump into today's campaign. I'm excited because a lot of video game content here to kind of go over and that's kind of how you and I really kind of bonded is through our love of video games and our passion for video games. So it should be a lot of good fun topics. So a couple of weeks ago, something dropped. I saw it on IGN's Instagram account. And to be honest, I was a little bit surprised if I'm being honest, because although when you and I did a top 10 favorite video games of all time, this video game made my top 10 list. I was shocked to see where it was ending up on the all-time best-selling video games list. So it was reported that Red Dead Redemption 2 is now fourth on the top 10 best-selling video games of all time. And I love the game. I was kind of shocked to see it there. So I thought it would be interesting, one, to be able to kind of talk about what that means for not only for the Red Dead franchise, but for Rockstar as a video game developer, because also on this list is Grand Theft Auto 5. Wow. So to be able to talk about what that means for them, but I also wanted to look at the top 10 list and kind of talk about whether or not, just because it is the best selling, does it mean that it's actually a good video game, right? Looking at some of these games on the list, a lot of it kind of surprised me. So before we dive into the top 10 list, man, what do you make of Red Dead Redemption 2 being fourth all time in best-selling video games?
I think it's very surprising. I think it's a very interesting accomplishment when a more modern game cracks any list like that, right? Because the thing about video games is it's a lot different from movies or albums. There's a lot of a lot more of a long lasting effect because their value kind of maintains throughout the life cycle. Like a brand new DVD, when DVDs were a thing, would come out and it would be $20-$25, and then a month later you would find it in the $5 bin.
Yeah,
right. Video games take a lot longer to depreciate. And even Grand Theft Auto 5 right now is still a $40 game, which is crazy to me, but people are still buying it at that price. So I think it's more impressive when more modern games make these lists, because they have years and years of because I'm looking at the list right now, they have years and years of other games having such long life cycles. So I think it's very impressive. And for Rockstar to have two of their games on here is insane. I mean, at this point, you have to start talking about who are the best game development studios, and you have to put Rockstar in that conversation for sure.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think, is anyone naive enough to not believe that they're going to have three of the top spots when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out? There's so much hype for that game. It's going to shatter all the records for sales. I have no doubt about it. I think when you speak of some of the newer games, I think you're right on the mark. But I also think there's some longevity here on this list. But like, I think it speaks to the landscape of video games now because, it's not just about going out and buying that physical copy and then you have that game forever and it's a one-time purchase. Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, like that was a PlayStation 3 game and it's coming up on like 13, 14 years old. And I've bought that game probably 3 different times. I bought the physical copy when it came out. I probably bought the remastered or whatever when it came out on the PS4, and I know that I've recently purchased it. Not recent, but like when I bought my PS5, it was one of the first games that I purchased digitally on my PS5. And I think that evolution of physical media has driven some of these games to be able to push their sales even more. But I also think what worries me a little bit, and we'll talk about this when we get to number 1, is the world of microtransactions with video games, because I think that goes into, some of these sales as well. And, what drives me absolutely nuts is when a game drops and that in 3 or 4 months, it's not the full game you're getting. They're going to come out with some kind of downloadable content that's going to be another $20 or $30 out of your pocket. Or, oh, you really like being able to do these things. How about you spend $5.99 to be able to get this weapon, to be able to do this mission or whatever. So those microtransactions really get to me. But diving into the top 10s, I'm going to go over the list here real briefly. At number 10, you have Super Mario Brothers. Number 9, Elder Scrolls 5. Number 8, Terraria. If I'm pronouncing that right, I've never heard of that game.
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, number 7 is Purg, if I'm pronouncing that right. Battlegrounds. I've heard of that game, but I've just never said it out loud.
It's PUBG. It's PUBG.
PUBG. Okay. That makes more sense. I've seen it, just never said it. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 5, Wii Sports. 4, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 3, Tetris, which was surprising to see. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. And then number 1, surprisingly, Minecraft.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
So what stands out on this list for you? Because for me, the couple of notable ones were Mario Kart 8. I think that really was because of the release of the Nintendo Switch and how that kind of correlated with the launch of that platform. Mm-hmm. And I think that really kind of bolstered the sales. And plus, it's a great game. It's my go-to Mario Kart racing game by far. And then aside from Minecraft, Tetris. And then I wonder if like that has to account for like mobile gaming as well, mobile game purchases, I would assume. So I was surprised to see Tetris on that list. So what stood out to you?
So I'm going to hit off a couple of points that you brought up. The mobile gaming thing is definitely why Minecraft is number 1, because you can buy Minecraft on any platform, PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. Yeah. You could also buy it on the mobile device. You can buy it and it's also a kid's game that is like the safer equivalent to Roblox. So, kids want to create, like my kids are like, they were in the Roblox phase and we kind of took it away from them. And then my one son is getting into Minecraft again. So they want to like build these worlds, and like Minecraft is like the safest way for them to do it. I mean, it's that Minecraft is surprising, but at the same time, like I get it. Tetris to me, really, that's insane for it to be number 3, because Tetris, the only thing I could think of as to why it's so high up there is because Tetris was the launch title for the Game Boy. Like that was the I'm going to ship every Game Boy. Like the first, one of the first games you're going to buy is Tetris. And I mean, who doesn't like Tetris, right? Like you could play Tetris. Tetris is mindless interaction. Like there's no, like you just keep going. I've never beat Tetris. So that's super interesting to me. Wii Sports was a launch title for the Wii, so that's probably just hype. Everybody who bought a Wii got Wii Sports. Mario Kart 8 makes sense, launch title for the Switch. Super Mario Brothers being number 10, I felt like that would have been a little higher, because I think that was a launch title for the NES. But yeah, this list is very interesting. Like I would love to see like how they calculate this. But Minecraft being number 1 makes sense.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on all those points. And I will say for Minecraft, I like the the thought of it being, kind of a safer Roblox type game. We let Grayson play Minecraft. Now he doesn't play online. He plays, like individual. But I will tell you, man, with him being almost 5 years old, I'm shocked by how much like it has developed his ability to be creative on that game. Like now, it also shows me just how destructive this kid can truly be. But he, he'll call me in there, but like, Dad, check this out. And he's like, build him. Like the other day, I came in, I was in the back office, I was working. I went out there and he was excited to show me he built a roller coaster. And I asked Scarlett, I was like, man, so what, did he just come across this and kind of like edited a little bit around it? And she was like, no, he literally built this from scratch. Like he carved out places like through caves and stuff for this roller coaster. And it wasn't really a roller coaster. I guess it was like a mine cart, that went on the tracks. But like I was like, man, that's super impressive for, a 4-year-old to be able to, I'm not that dad that's like, oh, check out how smart my kid is. My kid, he's an asshole, but he he definitely, like he hits his creative button with Minecraft. So, I don't see that. I didn't look to see how far ahead Minecraft was above GTA 5, but Minecraft just continues to make more money. And then you had the movie that came out, which was almost $1 billion film. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any worry anytime soon for that one to be knocked off. But what do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Were you surprised to see Red Dead Redemption 2 fall into number 4th all time? Did you even realize it was in the top 10? Because it's one of my favorite games of all time. I didn't realize it was up there. And to Adrian's point, is it time that we start looking at Rockstar being one of the best video game developers of all time? Let us know in the comments. Tell us what you think. All right. Moving on, our next story here, man, hits all the nostalgia feels for me. Toy Story 5 dropped its first trailer, and it's a teaser trailer. There's not much here in the way of like substance to what the entirety of the movie is going to be about, but it gives us a really good idea of what the plot point is. And in the world of technology, you have, I don't remember what it was called in the trailer, but it's basically their version of Leapfrog coming in to devastate the world of Woody and Buzz and that whole gang. You watched the trailer, I'm assuming, preparing for the show. Are you a Toy Story fan, man? And what did you think of this teaser trailer?
So, yes, I love Toy Story. I mean, I remember when I was a kid going to the movie theater to see Toy Story, and I was just like, Buzz Lightyear was the coolest toy. Like everybody wanted a Buzz Lightyear toy. Like I remember getting the legit Buzz Lightyear toy like that Christmas with like the wings, and then I had like one with like silver armor on it. Like Toy Story was awesome, and my favorite one is Toy Story 2. I really like Toy Story 2. Like that's my favorite one because I think it's like it. I don't know. It just feels like it's a more complete story, and like Woody and Buzz are like best buds, and there's a lot of like existential crisis with like Woody thinking he's like this, museum piece, and Jesse and Bullseye are really great. Like Toy Story 2 is I think my favorite one, but I think the best one was Toy Story 3, and it came out so many years later, and like we're all around that age, like we're growing up, and like Andy's going to college, and he has all his stuff away, and it shows you how like nostalgia really does hit hard, like as far as like you remembering your childhood. I really do think they should have stopped at 3. I did enjoy 4. I thought 4 was a good movie, but as far as like emotional substance and like attachment, I think they should have stopped at 3. 4 was still really good. 5, I'm kind of like where do they go now? Like the whole iPad thing, like I get it, but they're bringing Woody back. He left them. Like I need to see like where that goes. The teaser didn't really give you too much. It's just like obviously like now Bonnie is going to be more of like an iPad kid as opposed to a kid, which is what our generation is dealing with now as parents. But like, there's no way Toy Story takes place in present time, right? Because if Bonnie is just getting a Leapfrog now, that thing came out like 20 years ago.
I think you're right. Yeah. Unless if it's a hand-me-down toy too. I mean, that could be potential, but I agree with you. I don't think it's in real time. And listen, I'm with you. I mean, it definitely hit all the nostalgia feels. I love the Toy Story franchise. Scarlett and I got to see an early preview of Toy Story 4 because we were on vacation together. We went to Disney World and they were showing like the first 20 minutes of the film there. And so we got to see it and I was shocked by it because there was a large gap in between Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4 time wise.
Right.
Like I was shocked by just how much it really, I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this movie. And although it wasn't as good as the rest of them, I would say Toy Story 4 is probably the worst of the Toy Story movies. It's still a great movie, right? That just tells you how good this franchise is. I just had to look it up because I was curious and I didn't have this in the notes. Toy Story, the original Toy Story came out in 1995. So we're talking about a world where Grayson is going to go to the theater to go see Toy Story 5 with us around or close to the same age I was when I saw the original Toy Story. And that is mind blowing to me.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And I think that, I think when you're talking about what is going to happen, what the plot points of it, with the leapfrog and all that kind of stuff, all that's interesting. But I saw the same thing too. I was like, where the fuck did Buzz come from? Last time we saw him, he was going, and so I have a theory there. I have a theory, and I might be wrong because maybe they've announced Tim Allen coming back as the voice of Buzz Lightyear, so I might be totally off base. But I have a theory that this isn't our Buzz Lightyear. I have a theory that this is a different Buzz Lightyear doll. And unless if I'm crazy, because I don't remember hearing Buzz talk in the trailer. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be misremembering. But Chris Evans voiced Buzz Lightyear in the Buzz Lightyear movie. I think we're going to have Chris Evans coming in as Buzz Lightyear for this movie, but maybe I'm off base on that. But that's my radical theory. I don't think it's our Buzz Lightyear. I think it's a different Buzz Lightyear doll.
I was under the assumption that if they were going to do another Toy Story, they were just going to bring everybody back. Now, I know a lot of those actors are older. I mean, Tom Hanks is older, Tim Allen is older. Joan Cusack she's older. She does the voice for Jessie. Slinky.
Yeah.
His voice actor died.
Yeah.
So is he just not in the movie? The voice actor for Rex and Ham, these guys are all old. So it's maybe you're right. Maybe they're going to revamp it a little bit, but I feel to me, that's where I kind of draw the line where enough is enough. If I can't have the original cast that made it so special, I don't feel like it needs to happen. And I understand they want to show their IP to the younger generation, but you could just watch the older movie. Those movies still hold up.
Yeah.
Pixar movies never look outdated. They just don't. They just always look great. It's Pixar, So it's I don't know. I guess I'll just have to reserve judgment until I see the movie, but I do have a lot of questions for sure.
I think ultimately what this boils down to, I mean, I don't know how closely you follow things the finances of certain companies and stuff like that. But, a few years ago, Disney found themselves in a little bit of trouble, coming off of COVID. They had a new CEO kind of running the business and things were kind of bleak. And Bob Iger, who was the original CEO who ushered in, the buying of Star Wars and a person of Star Wars and Marvel and everything. They had asked him to come back because I think Bob Chapek was the CEO's name that kind of ran things into the ground. They fired him, brought back Bob Iger, and he started course correcting, and Disney started to adjust on a lot of stuff. And one of the things that he really talked about was Pixar had a run of movies that went straight to streaming, and he was like, "No, we need to get back to the core of what Pixar is." And I think that this is part of that. I think they went to an IP that they knew and trusted. But I also view this because you're a sports fan like me. This is that when you, especially in a basketball game where you get a player who gets on a little bit of a hot streak and all of a sudden he hits 1, 2, 3, 4 3-pointers in a row, and the crowd erupts after that 4th 3-pointer, and you're like, man, like this is great, he's on fire, and then he just thinks he can chunk one up from like 10 feet, across half court, like Steph Curry style. And I don't know, is it going to go in? Like I just because although to your point, we have the legacy of Toy Story. We can always look back. We can always remember those films, fondly. If this movie ends up bad, I think out of any other franchise, it really taints the legacy of Toy Story a little bit, because I think we all said after Toy Story 4, why are you making this? Like, why? We don't need this movie. And when they nailed it and it was good, we were all like, oh, okay, like that was great. I saw this and I was like, oh, we don't need it. Don't throw up that 3-pointer. And so I don't know, man. I think in Pixar we must trust, right? Like, I mean, I think that, but it just, I don't know. If you had to put money on it, man, do you think this movie is going to be good?
So I think that's a tough question to answer, because the way the world is right now, like, it doesn't matter if movies are good anymore. It just matters how well they do at the box office. So, sure. Like, I don't think I think it will be good, because there's never been a bad Toy Story movie. Like, they've been good. They've been entertaining. Like, if you take it for face value and you don't go in there expecting the world, like, they're good. They're good movies. But, like, I don't think it matters if it's good or not. Like, it's still going to make $1 billion. It's Toy Story, right? So, like, perfect example, right? Like Moana and Moana 2, right? Moana, the first Moana was awesome. It was an awesome movie. It was the first Pixar movie that they made in a long time, and they went back to their roots and it hit. Like, Moana was incredible. And then they were like, Moana 2. And I'm like, do we really need a Moana 2? And Moana 2 didn't hit. Like, I did not enjoy Moana 2 the way I enjoyed the first one. My kids loved it because they're kids. But I'm not a kid, so I'm looking at it a little differently. But it was still a successful movie, so it doesn't really matter for like P&L and like budget purposes. It doesn't matter. But I don't think it'll be terrible. But there could be an argument made that after this one might be the worst one. I mean, you're not going to ever top 1, 2, and 3. It's just not going to happen. Agreed. It's not going to happen. That's in conversation as one of the greatest trilogies of all time. Like, it's not that's it. Like, that is the golden goose. So now you're starting 4 and 5, and if they make a 6, that's the second trilogy now, because you're in that new era of movies. But yeah, it'll probably be good. I mean, it's Toy Story.
Well, we'll see. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Do you trust the Toy Story franchise? I think at this point we have to, right? It's one of the things where, like, it's more likely it's going to be successful than it's not. But I do agree with Adrian. It's going to make all the fucking money. Like, it is going to be $1 billion film. I think we can all probably agree on that. But yeah, drop it in the comments. Let us know. We'd love to be able to hear your thoughts on the Toy Story franchise. All right, moving on. Our third topic of our campaign today. IGN again reported. I saw this on their Instagram page, that the PlayStation 5. I want people to hear my words very clearly here when I say this. This is fucking crazy. The PlayStation 5 has outsold not the Xbox S, not the Xbox X, not the Xbox One. The PlayStation 5 has outsold every Xbox console ever released. That is insane. I had to fact check it. I didn't believe it. I was like, they're fucking trolling us. The PlayStation 5 has outsold every Xbox console ever released. And so, Adrian, I mean, I put out a video. I don't know if you had a chance to see it a few episodes ago, where I talked about, I think Xbox, like the console wars are over. Like Xbox, I think Xbox has waved the white flag when they said, you know what, we release our exclusivity of Halo. I mean, what are your thoughts here? I mean, Is this a matter of the PlayStation being a far superior console or Xbox dropping the ball? Like, what do you think this is?
I mean, it's a little sad because I think, and this might not be the popular opinion, but I think the console wars were good for the gaming industry because Nintendo was never really a part of the war because they were doing their own thing. But the war between Xbox and Sony or Xbox and PlayStation, I think it was good for gaming because when the console wars were at its peak, we just got banger after banger after banger. Like you're talking about for Xbox, you got Halo, you got Forza, you got Gears of War, you got Fable. You had so many good in-house developed IPs. And PlayStation, you had Metal Gear, you had Uncharted, you had Final Fantasy before it kind of went multi-platform. You had a lot of other games that were just banger after banger after banger. And then the sixth generation with PlayStation 5 or whatever generation it is, Xbox Series X and PS5. I guess PS4 too. Sony just said, all right, I see you and I'm going to raise you because they just went crazy with The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man PS4. And then they kept going with freaking, now Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding and all these incredible exclusives. And Xbox just was not able to keep up. Yeah. And I don't know why they just decided, like, I understand their logic. Like, we're going to appeal to the gamer. We're not going to lock our games behind exclusivity because we want everybody to experience them. Leave that up to the consumer.
Yeah.
Leave that up to the consumer because it is a business. At the end of the day, it is still a business. And for Microsoft to be shutting their doors on console development is not a win for the gaming industry because now it's going to be dominated by Sony, Nintendo, and then eventually the Steam machine looks really interesting. If like Valve and all these PC companies can figure out how to make a console that's user friendly, that will completely take over. But the whole bugaboo about PC gaming is it's not the easiest to get into because of settings and drivers and all this nonsense. So just the plug and play experience is going to be owned by Nintendo and Sony for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and what is truly disappointing about this from my aspect, because I look at this from a retail background because my profession and my history, I've been in multi-unit retail management for 20 years. And what really, like, when I saw this, the first thing I thought to myself is shame on Microsoft because this is what you do. You develop software, you develop platforms, you develop, like right now, I'm recording this on my Lenovo laptop using Windows 11. I am not a Mac guy. I don't care for Apple. Windows to me is always been it. And I think that when you are a pillar in the software world and how people consume media and how they work and operate, how do you allow this to happen where you don't create a superior console? I don't understand that. Like, PlayStation made all the right moves in regard to marketing. You hit the nail on the head. The exclusivities to the games, the way they really targeted, and the way those games took off definitely helped because now Sony is taking those classic IPs and they're turning those into television shows and movies and things like that are hitting right. and having success. I think the God of War series coming on Amazon is probably going to be the best of all of them. I'm really looking forward to that. But if you are Xbox, I think that you allowed this, like, when we're looking back at the headstone of Xbox and they've buried the grave and they've stopped making consoles, their tombstone is going to read death by suicide. Like, I think they did this to themselves. And as much as Sony made all the right moves, I think that Xbox, like, it just, every time I think, because I've owned a couple Xbox in my life. I have an Xbox S right now. The one thing I will say that I believe Xbox is superior than PlayStation is with Game Pass.
Oh,
I think Game Pass is a great platform, and I've said it before, and I think this is the only move for them is to get out of making consoles and to go directly into creating the first ever like true video game streaming platform that can be, shared by all, right? Like if you can potentially use it on a PlayStation console or whatever on your PC, that kind of stuff. I think that's the only move they have, because who's going to buy, unless if you're a diehard Xbox fan or the console comes out and it's half the price, who's going to spend $600 on the next gen Xbox console? I just don't see it. Like, and to your point, it's going to hurt the gaming landscape, and it's going to hurt us as consumers if PlayStation doesn't have anyone to compete against.
Right.
EA Sports. If you've listened to my content at all, you know that I think EA, Electronic Arts, is the shittiest company out there. I hate everything they do. But why do I keep going back and buying Madden? Because they're the only ones who are allowed to make NFL games. And 100%. And so you can give us shit product because we don't have any other choice. And my 100%. worry is that PlayStation's going to fall in line with that, intentionally or unintentionally, without a true competitor. And Nintendo's not a true competitor. I love Nintendo. They're not a true competitor. So without a true competitor, I just don't see. You're going to be lax. You're going to not put forth as much effort, and I think that's a shame for everybody. So, any final thoughts or last words to Xbox?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, Xbox was cool. Like when it came out, like I had an Xbox. It came out during the PS2 era, but that doesn't matter. Xbox was pretty cool. The 360 was a better console than the PS3. It 100%. I had both. The PS3 was big and it was annoying. Like you had to get the certain model for backwards compatibility, and it was just like, why? Xbox 360 and Xbox Live was great, but you know what? Xbox 360, like Sony felt them like creeping up, and then they brought the PS4, and the PS4 was 100 times better console than the Xbox One. The Xbox One was a joke. And then the PS5 and the Series X. The only thing that hurt the PS5 is that it was the console that everybody wanted that launched during COVID, and there was just no stock. There was no availability. So people were just settling and buying an Xbox instead because they were like, oh, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, because the exclusivity is what sells the console.
I totally agree with you, which makes this headline even more shocking. That because I went a couple of years with the release of the PS5 before I was able to get my hands on one. And yeah, the fact that, I mean, it's just even now, like I was before recording this episode, I was at Walmart, and me and Grayson were waiting around the electronics section for Scarlett to come back and meet us, and there were Xboxes in stock. There were no PlayStation 5s in stock. And it's just, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. So what do you guys think? Obviously, I think that this is the last nail in the coffin for Xbox. But are you sad to see it go away? I mean, I still play my Xbox in order to, because again, Game Pass. If you are a casual gamer, especially someone who doesn't necessarily get to play a whole lot, but you want to be able to get the best bang for your buck, find an Xbox console on Game Pass is the way to go. I was able just to play Expedition 33 on it for free because it's on Game Pass, and I think that's definitely a win. So, what do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. And just for fun, if you want to throw in your last words post-mortem for Xbox in the comments, feel free to. So, all right, here we go. Moving down to our last two topics here for today's campaign, and this one was like, if you had asked me, 6 months ago, do you think you would be talking about an anime movie that dropped on Netflix that caught the world by storm, and you would probably love every single song in there, even though you're not a K-pop fan? I would have thought, like, this sounds like the dumbest thing you could have asked me. But here we are. Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunter has received 5 Grammy nominations for their music in K-pop Demon Hunter. And I think that it's going to be by far the biggest snub at the Oscars if Golden doesn't win best song at the Oscars, because K-pop Demon Hunter, not only did it catch the world by storm, but the music on it has become so iconic at this point. And honestly, I'm shocked by it. Not so much because it's not good, because it really is good. The music's great. But just how much of an impact this movie has made on pop culture and just coming out of nowhere like that. And I gotta ask, when you first saw K-pop Demon Hunter, did you expect it to be as big as it is now? And what are your thoughts about the music and 5 Grammy nominations, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's awesome for them, right? I think that's incredible. I mean, they worked really hard. The music and the entire soundtrack is incredible. I mean, the movie was great too. I remember just randomly like coming home and my kids were watching it, and I was like, "What are you guys watching?" And they're like, "K-pop Demon Hunters." I thought it was a show. Like, I didn't even know it was a movie. And then like they got super into it. My daughter's super into it, and like it was like the thing. And then they came out with the sing along in the movie theater. So I took them to go see the sing along in the movie theater, and that was like the first time like I properly sat through the movie, and I was like, this is not a movie for kids. Like, the message behind it is totally for people who have dealt with trauma throughout their entire lives and are learning how to live with it and accept it. And I was just like, why this is insane that it's just. So, you know what? I'm super happy for them. They definitely have to walk away with something. I mean, Golden is a great song. All the songs are good. Like, Idol is a great song. My favorite song in the whole movie is What It Sounds Like, the last song that they sing. I love that song. That song is like, it song gets you pumped. It's like, yes, it's so good. But yeah, listen, if it's good, that's all that matters. Like, who cares if it's K-pop or what? It was a good story. It was good music. Like, you could tell the people were very passionate about the project. And you know what? Like, I'm very happy for them, and I hope they reap all the benefits that's coming to them. I hope we get a sequel. I hope we get a Magic the Gathering crossover Secret Lair, because that would be cool. And I will say this though. Final Fantasy X-2 walked so that K-pop Demon Hunters could run.
I agree with that. I think you and I mentioned this on the documentary that it is a better sequel. K-pop Demon Hunter is a better sequel to Final Fantasy X than Final Fantasy X-2 is. And listen, I think with the music of this movie, I view K-pop Demon Hunter the same way as I view a lot of Pixar movies, that they are adult movies that happen to be kid friendly. And like the themes that you deal with in a lot of Pixar movies are very adult driven themes. So you look like Inside Out and Inside Out 2. Yes. And so I think that K-pop Demon Hunters delivers a very good message. That for me as a parent, like, I'm okay with my child hearing and understanding. But the music is so catchy, and one of my first projects, prior to creating content for myself, I was full-time creating content people for others. I was a photographer and videographer, and one of my first videography projects was I did a music video for a K-pop dance group here in Oklahoma. And so I've been familiar with K-pop music, but it is not my genre of music. I am not a K-pop guy. And so I was shocked by how much like I got into the music of this movie. And I think that it's for a couple of reasons. One, because I think the lyrics, this is what it sounds like, to your point. The music's great, but the lyrics are phenomenal in that song. And I think that in the world we live in now, where TikTok dominates our attention span, we could not hear it. Like, if you're on for a while, if you're on TikTok, it was the trending audio. Multiple songs were trending audio, and it was everywhere. And normally that tires me out. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear the song anymore. But it had the opposite effect, man. It really did. it to continue to play and continue to be added to my playlist. And I would not be shocked when I look at my Spotify playlist and this is what it sounds like is one of my top listened to songs this year. So
hell yeah.
Congratulations to the developers. Congratulations to the artist. Very, very much well deserved. We'll see what awards they walk away with. Nominations are great, but winning's better, right? So we'll see what they walk away with. But yeah, just excellent job. Yeah, congrats to everyone involved. So what do you guys think? What's your favorite K-pop Demon Hunter song? And tell us why it's what this is what it sounds like. That should be your favorite. If it's not, then quit listening to this podcast. So here's our last topic of the day. I came across on like some video game Facebook page that I happened to follow at some point on social media, and they had like this big giant bracket, 64 franchise bracket made up of their favorite or not, maybe not their favorite, but the best video game franchise tournament of all time. And some of the first of all, some of the seeding was ridiculous, and then some of the franchises they had involved, I was like, there's 64 is way too many. So I was like, let's narrow this down. I'm going to create my own. Let's see what you thought about it. So we went with 16. I thought that these were
NCAA bracket. Okay.
Yep, NCAA bracket. I thought this was arguably the most iconic 16 franchises of all times. And cases could be made for others, but these were the 16 I settled on. If you're at home, you're watching this, you don't like it, well then fuck you. Make your own podcast. You can do what you want to do. So let's go through the seeding here for a little bit. Okay. So at our number 1 seed, I had Pokemon.
That's
number 2, I had Grand Theft Auto. Number 3, I had Final Fantasy, and number 4, I had Halo. That was our top 4 seeds of this 16 team tournament here. Followed after that was Mario, just all of the Mario franchise. Because they had it separated between Mario Brothers. They also had Smash Brothers. They had Mario Kart, but I just included all of
just
of Mario.
Yeah. Got you.
Number 6, Mortal Kombat. Number 7, Call of Duty. Number 8, Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 9, Metal Gear. 10, Resident Evil. 11, The Sims. 12, Zelda. 13, Silent Hill. 14, Elder Scrolls. 15, I had Assassin's Creed. And then at 16, I had Street Fighter. So an argument could have been made for Zelda to be a lot higher. That was biased on my part. I don't like Zelda. I think it's an overrated franchise.
Oh,
but
man.
I thought in the world of NCAA, a 12-5 matchup between Zelda and Mario would be intriguing because that's usually the most upset seed to win in the tournament. So 12-5. So I thought, hey, let's put it together. So taking a look at this list, man. Your first thoughts, seeding. Did I get anything wrong here?
No, everything looks good, but it just goes to show like how difficult something like this is because there are so many good franchises on here. And I feel like, yeah, there's some that are better than others, but I feel like for the most part, they're pretty interchangeable. Just like as far as like longevity and like how long they've been in the gaming space and like, stuff like that, like recognizable franchises. So this is gonna be tough. I don't think this is gonna be easy at all. I only see maybe 1 or 2 like easy, no doubt matchups, and then everything else is kind of like debatable, I think.
Well, let's go through. Let's talk it out. Let's start with number 1 and number 16, Pokemon and Street Fighter. To me, this is probably one of the easier ones. I think it's Pokemon. I love Street Fighter, but I think it's Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
And we're in agreement there. Let's move down the bracket. Metal Gear and Sonic. For me, man, this was a tough one. I'm gonna say Metal Gear.
I would have to agree. As big of a Sonic fan as I am, I would have to agree that the Hideo Kojima and his Metal Gear franchise is it's way too like the magnitude of those games is just way bigger than Sonic.
It is, and I think that like when you look at Mario, which we'll get to here in a second, Mario, obviously, Mario, the rivalry between Mario and Sonic was iconic, with the Sega Genesis and Nintendo NES. But I think that um, Mario continued to evolve, and they continue to be
Yes.
more and more relevant. Where there are still Sonic games that come out, but they're not on my radar. So
Correct.
I think that's
Correct.
the X factor there. All right, then we got Halo and Silent Hill. I think this was another easy one. I think Halo is
See,
it.
this is tough. This is tough because Halo is just a first person shooter. Like it's it. That's it. Like Silent
Yeah,
Hill, you're talking about some of the best story driven narratives that I mean, I'm not sure how many of them you've played, but if you like the creepy horror games, like Silent Hill and like Resident Evil are very synonymous when it comes to the horror genre. So this for me is a little tougher. I would have to give the slight edge to Halo. So I agree with you that Halo would beat out Silent Hill, but it's not. It's a lot closer. I would
it's
think.
a lot closer than I think. Well, I
Yeah, I think it's a lot closer.
I decided that like literally like just now because I was like I hadn't put much thought into like what if we disagree? How are we going to have a tiebreaker? Um, we are going to allow Gemini to the AI for Google to flip a coin, and that'll be our deciding factor. So
That's fair. I really don't think we're going to disagree on any of these, but
all right, here we go.
yeah, that's fine. I'm fair with that.
Last one for the left side of the bracket: Zelda and Mario. I'm going to let you pick here first.
It's Mario, and it's not even close.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
It's just I like the Zelda games. I like the Legend of Zelda games, but it's Mario, and it's not Mario is a juggernaut. Yeah, and especially because you have all of them in there.
Yeah.
There is a Mario game for every single genre. There is a platformer, there's an adventure game, there's an RPG, there's a fighting game, there's a racing game. So there's sports games. So like Mario is gonna be tough. But yeah, I would give Mario over Zelda for sure.
I had to put Mario at fifth when I was going through this, like just based off the top four. I just felt were a little bit more iconic. It's hard to say that. I mean, I know we're talking about Mario here, but I just felt like the top four were the better franchises. But Mario, if you're looking at this from a NCAA tournament aspect, they're the dark horse. They're the ones that could ultimately win it all. So, all right, let's move to the right side of the bracket, top to bottom. First up, we got Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed. What do you got here?
This is a tough one. I have to give it to GTA.
So, I don't think this is a tough one. I think it's Assassin's Creed.
Okay, so this is where the first coin flip
yeah, this
comes
is where
in.
the first coin flip comes in because I love GTA. I do. But GTA 5 was the pinnacle for me for Grand Theft Auto. And it's on my top 10 favorite games of all time. And we just talked about earlier, it's the second best selling game of all time. But man, when you're talking about Assassin's Creed, you're talking about Assassin's Creed 3, you're talking about Black Flag, you're talking about Odyssey and Valhalla. Like I don't know. So we'll see. We'll let's get Gemini in here. So Gemini, can you flip a coin? We are going to have Grand Theft Auto be heads, Assassin's Creed be tails. Flip a coin, tell us who wins.
And it's heads. Grand Theft Auto wins.
There we go.
Man.
Grand Theft Auto ends up winning. We'll push Grand Theft Auto through. So
Oh man, on a coin flip, that's crazy.
On a coin flip, that's what we're going with. But I do think I think a note is made there for Assassin's Creed. I think they're a great franchise. So, all right, Resident Evil or Call of Duty. What do you got?
Resident Evil. I don't even consider Call of Duty like a thing anymore.
I would agree with you. These are the only two games on this list I've never played. I've never played a Call of Duty game, never played a Resident Evil game. So I'm fine with Resident Evil. I have no arguments there. So Final Fantasy or Elder Scrolls. I thought this was interesting because of the genre of video games. Both being fantasy kind of, Middle Earth based or whatever, but to me it's Final Fantasy. It's not even close, but
yeah, I don't think it's close. I mean, Elder Scrolls does have some really good games like Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind. Like they have good games, but Final Fantasy is another juggernaut in this bracket. Like this is going to be tough to dethrone that. So yeah, Final Fantasy for sure.
I agree with you. All right, so last one, first round. Number 11, Sims. Number 6, Mortal Kombat. Who do you got?
I think it's Mortal Kombat. I don't think
I
Sims. Like I think Sims is the Cinderella story. Like it snuck into the Sweet 16, but its journey ends here.
Sims could have been a lot better than what it ended up being. I think in large part, like its failure to adapt to a changing video game landscape was its downfall. Sure. So, all right, here we go. We're moving on. Elite Eight here: Pokemon or Metal Gear. For me, it's Pokemon.
Yeah, you're talking greatest gaming franchises. Like I'm not necessarily saying the Pokemon games are better than the Metal Gear games, but as far as like video game franchise, Pokemon's another juggernaut. Like it's the most successful IP in the world. Yeah, it's unfortunately yes, Pokemon.
All right, Halo or Mario?
I mean, it's Mario.
I agree. Yeah, I think I agree. When you're talking about iconic video game franchises, I 100% agree. All right, GTA or Resident Evil?
Oh, this is tough. This is tough because I'm a big horror game genre guy. Like I really do love the horror genre, but GTA had like the golden window of games from like GTA 3 all the way to GTA 5. Like they haven't missed since GTA 3. So I might get flamed for this. Like you're not a real gamer, but I have to give it to GTA.
I mean, I'm going to go with GTA. I know I said I haven't played the Resident Evil games, but I just think from what's been more impactful in the gaming landscape, I think GTA is the more iconic franchise, if I'm being honest. So, interesting one here: 3 and 6 matchup: Final Fantasy or Mortal Kombat.
I mean, it would be tough for us to not say Final Fantasy because we're so biased, but again, Mortal Kombat is limited to the style of game that it is, right? It's a fighting game. It's a 2D fighter, so it hasn't really really transgressed. I mean, that's its genre. It fills its lane very well. But Final Fantasy has your RPGs, it has your spin-off games, it has your regular action RPG. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy is such a huge thing, right? So.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Final Fantasy as well. I think it's closer than some people might think. Just in regards to the relevance that Mortal Kombat had on the industry and video games as a whole.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree Final Fantasy. So we're moving into our final four. We almost went chalk except for Halo being beat out by Mario. So all top 5 seeds at least here. Pokemon, here's the big one, man. Pokemon or Mario?
This is tough.
This is your national championship being played in the final 4 round.
So this is tough. There's so much weight here, right? Because without Mario, you really don't have half of the landscape that you have, right?
Sure.
So like you have to give credit where credit is due. But as far as like a franchise impact on pop culture, Pokemon is a phenomenon. Like card games, animes, movies, merch, just it goes on, and it transcends generation and generation. Like if you ask a random kid on the street if he knows who Mario is, he knows who Mario is. But does he play Mario more than he plays Pokemon? I don't think so. So I'm gonna have to give it to Pokemon here.
So I'm gonna agree with you. I think Pokemon is the more iconic. Obviously, we won't know because Mario didn't make it to the finals here, but I don't know if there was anyone else on this bracket that was going to beat Mario if it wasn't for Pokemon.
Right.
And I think all the reasons that you said are 100% true. And I think the last one is the fact that when you're talking about 2 beloved historic franchises like Mario and Pokemon, it boils down to, for me, for the franchises, what is the most relatable gameplay? And I don't see myself as a plumber jumping around going through metal pipes and stuff like that, to save Princess Peach. I have, more than I'd like to admit, thought about myself as a real life Pokemon trainer. So I just think that Pokemon is the way to go. So moving on into the other half of the bracket, the top four here, we're going to close this out. Grand Theft Auto, Final Fantasy. For me, I'm going to throw my pick out there. It's Final Fantasy. I just think that when you're talking about the heritage, the amount of games, the way that it transcended the genre of RPGs, like I love Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is especially 5 is such a good video game, but it never spoke to me the way that 10 did. It never spoke to me the way that 7 did. It never. So to me, it's Final Fantasy. I think it's easily.
I have to agree with you. I mean, just the only thing that's hurting Grand Theft Auto here is his legacy. Like, it hasn't been around as long. Final Fantasy has been around since 1985. People tend to forget that, So yeah, I mean, listen, kudos to Rockstar and GTA for getting to the Final Four, but unfortunately, this is where the train stops.
Yep, you won all the money with Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto 5. You can be left out of the finals on this one. All right, here we go. Here's our championship matchup: Pokemon, Final Fantasy. I'm gonna go first and tell you, as much as I love Final Fantasy, I have Sephiroth and Cloud tattooed on my arm. It's Pokemon for me. I think when I'm looking at this, which is funny because I don't play near as many Pokemon games as I do Final Fantasy games. But as far as a beloved franchise, man, I love the world of Pokemon. And I think I hold on to what I hope Pokemon would eventually be more than what it is now. But I think it's Pokemon. So what do you got? Who's your champ?
This is so hard. This is difficult because you're talking about two completely different things, right? Like, the emotional weight and impact that Final Fantasy games have had on my life is like, I can't even begin to describe it. Some of my personalities have been shaped by the characters in these games, and it's like my moral code and all this. But if I'm being unbiased and I'm looking at objectively, like, it's Pokemon. Pokemon is it's just the pinnacle when it comes to getting shot out of a cannon and just having the time it came out, the generation that grew up with it. Like, if Pokemon comes out today, maybe it's not as successful, but it just everything had to go right, and it did. Pokemon had no competition. There was nothing like Pokemon. There was nothing like Pokemon. Yeah, Digimon had like the Tamagotchis, but it was so different. And people forget that Pokemon is a turn-based RPG. Like, people forget that.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh, it's Pokemon. Like, it's a 6v6. It is a turn-based RPG. Like, that's what it is.
Yep.
It just throws little monsters out there to do all the fighting for you. But the catching and the completing the Pokédex, and like, my first like experience with like perfectionism and like 100%ing a game was with Pokemon, completing the Pokédex, getting all my Pokemon to level 100, having all the badges. I mean, I agree with you. I wish Pokemon would have ended up the way I would have envisioned it in my head, and it hasn't. But that's why we have ROM hacks, and shout out to the ROM hacking community out there. The ROM hacks that these people make are incredible. If you haven't tried any, you probably should. Pokemon over Final Fantasy, I'm okay with it.
So yeah, I think all those points are super valid. I just, when you talked about the combat, turn-based combat, I hadn't really thought about it. Give me a Pokemon game with the graphics and the kind of storyline we got with Expedition 33 with a combat style like that. I'm there for it, man.
Game of the year for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Minecraft would be, they would be out of the top one spot just because I would buy all the fucking copies. Like, I just, it'd be so great. So listen, our opinion matters very little. It's all about what you guys think. Drop in the comments. Tell us why we're wrong and what you would have had as your number one. I'm going to throw this bracket up on a blank bracket up on my social medias as well. So that way you can fill out your own bracket and see what you got. So again, drop in the comments. Tell us where we're at. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much. As always, I just want to take a quick second to thank our guest, Dad Man. Appreciate you, my man, for coming on again, being a special guest on the show. Definitely appreciate all you do for the channel. I appreciate you guys for listening. And listen, life is busy. I get it. Like, for you to take the time out of your busy schedule to be able to watch or listen to this episode of this podcast truly means the absolute world to me. I can't thank you enough. We'll catch you guys next time at the same Batmandrew time on the same Batmandrew channel. Thanks, guys.